What's up guys, welcome back to Classic Octane. I am Taylor. So I wanted to put together a quick video today. I've had quite a few questions lately about how I load motorcycles up into my truck. So I just want to kind of cover the little system I built, the parts and pieces I use to put it together in hopes to kind of help any of you guys that are looking to do the same. So I've gone through a couple of different versions of basically ways to carry motorcycles in a truck. And the problem I'm initially trying to solve is I want to be able to go pick up a motorcycle, knowing me it's going to be a one that doesn't run, probably doesn't roll all that well. So I need to be able to go and pick that bike up, and I'd like to be able to do it completely by myself. I can't always rely on whoever I'm buying the bike from to be able to help me. You know, sometimes they're not willing, sometimes they're not able, whatever it is. And I can't always, you know, grab a friend to bring along with me as well. It could be in the middle of a weekday and I'm the only one available. So I need to be able to load these bikes up by myself, and it needs to be as efficient as possible. So I do have a trailer, and that is very easy if I have the trailer to roll a bike right up on it. You know, it's low to the ground. I can just use the ramps. It's not a big deal, but it's an 18-foot car trailer, and to carry one bike, it's you know, a little bit overkill. Also, it is a big pain to have to come home and hook it up and then go drive out somewhere. I wanted to be able to just pick up a bike if I'm out and I find a great deal. So let me show you what I put together. So I have it all set up because I am going to demonstrate it for you, but basically what I have here are two 10-foot aluminum ramps. These are rated for 600 pounds a piece. Because they are 10 feet, you'll see here in a little bit, they do bow a little bit. So I am keeping an eye on these over time to make sure they don't develop any cracks or anything like that. You know, obviously it would be terrible to have a failure on one of these. So far so good, but again, I am keeping track of them. So they're 10 feet long. The reason they need to be 10 feet long, my truck is a 3/4 ton Dodge truck with 35-inch tires, which means my tailgate is almost 40 inches off the ground. I think it's like 38 or 39 inches. And with a shorter ramp, the angle is just way too steep. So lower bikes can actually get high centered on it. Ask me how I know, because I originally tried it with these, I believe, 6.5-foot ramps, and bikes that are real low to the ground or have exhaust that kind of sling under the engine would have to slide up the ramp, and that's obviously not ideal, especially if it's a finished bike that you're going to deliver to a customer. You don't want to be sliding their exhaust down your ramp trying to unload the thing. So I needed to have this nice angle, and it seems like the 10-foot ramps have done the trick. These are just off Amazon, so I'll throw a link to them in the description. But you see this steel cable coming up. This is the system that makes all of this possible. So what you're looking at here is a mixture of parts from Harbor Freight and a homemade piece as well. So this right here is one of their wheel chocks, I believe they call it. Again, I'll throw a link in the description to this. Basically, it's this steel center section with, you know, where the front tire goes in. This piece rotates to help kind of capture that front wheel. It also has these bars across the back that give it a little bit of stability. What I did is I took some square tubing, basically had one straight piece all the way across the back, and then built this A-frame up just above where the front of the wheel chock is. And then this is where my fair lead roller is that goes down to my winch. So this is just a Harbor Freight Badlands 2,500 pound winch, which is more than enough power, because if you think about it, most of the bikes I'm pulling up on here are maybe 400 or 500 pounds, and that is 400 or 500 pounds that's rolling. That's not picking up 400 or 500 pounds. So 2,500 pounds. So far, it's not even hiccuped to pull up any bike, even with flat tires, up the ramp. So far, it's been plenty of power because, again, we're not really putting that much force on this system. So this is welded in. This meets up nicely with the top of this. That gives me stability this direction. The A-frame gives me stability this direction. So this so far has been very solid. I did not permanently mount it in the truck because one of the things I want to do is be able to remove this system should I need to, you know, fully utilize my bed. So it is just bolted through to these tie down hooks up here on the front, and that allows me to have a nice solid kind of anchoring point for the system, but it can be easily unbolted and removed from the truck One of the other designs I took into consideration is I have one of these backflip hard plastic tonneau covers on here, and I wanted to be able to utilize that and close this off. So this is just below the height of the tonneau cover, so I can totally close this, and this just lives in my truck at all times. So should I be out at an estate sale or happen across something on, you know, Craigslist or whatever while I'm out, this system is in the truck at all times. The ramps fit in here with everything closed up, so no big deal. Only thing I have to remember to bring is my jump box, which is what I use to power the winch. So in the future, I may put in some kind of power leads in the bed of my truck to have this be able to be permanently wired into the truck, so I can just come back here and, you know, hit the button and go, and not have to remember to bring this jump box, not have to worry about it being, you know, charged. I can just have it connected into the charging system of the truck and just keep the truck running while I'm using it. Another great thing about this winch is it is completely remote control, which is another reason why this system works. So it has this little wireless remote that you just click and hold on to turn the winch on, and then you have the button there. So that way you can keep this in your right hand to be able to operate the winch while you're guiding the bike up the ramp. Before I start, I'll show you guys how I connect the bike. So I just have two of these tie down straps. I just wrap around generally the front forks, and then it goes together to the hook that just runs up to the winch. So the one in the center, of course, is the one the bike's going to go up. The one on the left side is the one that I'm going to walk up as I guide the bike. So I'll throw you guys in the tripod, show you. So I just turn on the winch with the remote. Line it up, make sure the kick stands up so it doesn't get caught. So you can see how quick that goes, and the speed of the winch allows you to, you know, easily control the speed. All you're doing is basically keeping the bike on the ramp and then keeping it steady side to side. Pulls it right up into the wheel chock. Now you can just tie it down like you normally would, you know, a couple of straps to the front. You can either use the tie down point on the Harbor Freight chock, or of course the ones that are built into the truck. Heck, you can do both if you want. So that makes it really easy to get it into the truck. Now I will utilize the exact same system with just, you know, letting the winch out at a controlled speed to let me go down the ramp, which is very important for me because a lot of the bikes I buy, much like this one, don't have any brakes that work. So, you know, the whole hydraulic system and everything on most of the bikes is shot. So I need to have a way to control the speed slowly down, so I'm not just riding this 400-pound bike down this large ramp. So I'll throw you guys back on the tripod and show you taking the bike off the truck by myself. So that's how the system works. You can see it's super easy to get a bike on and off by yourself. Everything fits nicely under my tonneau cover and is hidden in here. I can stack the ramps up real close on the side here, still have plenty of bed space left. It checks all of the boxes for what I needed in a motorcycle system. So I'm very, very happy with it. I am going to put up a little estimate on the screen now of the cost of everything, because that's obviously a big part of this as well. They do have those systems that you can buy that's basically like a sled that permanently mounts into the bed of your truck, and you can put a bike on it and it pulls it up in there, and those are really nice, but they're a couple of $1,000. I think I probably have maybe $300 or $400-ish in this whole system. It could be done for cheaper, but that's just the direction that I went. So that's obviously a fraction of the cost of one of those other systems. It's also a lot safer than, if you guys remember, I've been around the channel for a while, I used to have one of those hitch haulers. I still have one, but I just wasn't happy with the quality. I wasn't happy with how secure a 500-pound bike was on that system. So if I just spent all this time for a customer building them a bike, and then I put it on this hitch hauler and they see me pull up and the thing's rocking around, and it's just not very confidence inspiring for me to be able to drive a bike down the highway if I need to shoot a couple of hours away to pick something up. It didn't work out well. If you have a dirt bike or some kind of lighter motorcycle, one of those carriers would probably do fine. You could also get one of the really nice ones. I think they're called like Versa hauls or something like that, that are rated for a lot heavier weight and have a kind of a little bit more complex mounting system. One of those probably will do pretty well, but for me it just didn't make a lot of sense. Also, that's this huge unit that probably wouldn't fit in the bed of my truck, and if it did, it would take up all of the room, and then that takes away the whole point of I want this system to live in my truck at all times. If I have to come home to pick up that hitch hauler, I might as well just get the trailer. So this system I think is going to work really well. Small upgrades I want to make in the future. I will probably switch to a synthetic line for the winch, just for a little bit smoother operation. It has some issue if you don't like guide the wire into the roller. It can kind of bind up a little bit, so that's something you have to be aware of. Synthetic line is supposed to be a little bit better at that. I also need to paint those bars. I just put the system in the truck to try it out and then never took it out to paint it. And then the power system as well, because that's an opportunity for me to not have the jump box with me, which means I wouldn't be able to use the system, which defeats the purpose. So figuring out a solution to have power at all times, probably just run off of the batteries in the truck, is going to be something I upgrade in the future. But I appreciate you guys watching this video. I know this probably won't interest a good amount of you, but for those who have asked me, I hope this answers all of your questions. If not, please do leave a comment below. Appreciate you guys as always. I'm going to go get to making some more motorcycle content, and I'll see you guys soon.